Okay, so I can hand the deck over to the spectator, and they can give it a shuffle. After they're done shuffling the deck, I would have them just touch any card. Let's say they touch this one. So now I would explain to them that they could have touched any card they wanted, but they touched this one. So in this case, they touched the 5 of diamonds. So now all I'm going to do is take your 5, put it somewhere in the middle of the deck. You can see it's not on top here, and it's not on the bottom. But if I have them touch one card, let's say this card right here, I can show them this card and this card is there, 5 of diamonds. That is the trick. If you would like to learn how this is done, be sure to stick around for the tutorial. Okay, so this is going to be a video on that double lift you saw. Now, I have 2 videos already on the double lift. This one, which is my preferred method of the double lift, my preferred way, the strike double. And then we have Shin Lim's double lift. But in my last video, I taught a double lift, which looks similar to this one. So they take a card, and they could have touched any card. But in this case, they touched the Queen of Clubs, but actually it's 2 cards here. So I'm going to show you how that's done, and then I'll show you that little trick I did. So here's how you're going to do that double lift. So essentially, what you're going to be doing is forcing the card on top of the deck. In this case, the Queen of Hearts. So you can either already know the card going into the trick, so maybe you want to do a prediction sort of effect, or maybe you don't know the card. Now, if you do have a marked deck, you can either do this as a prediction or totally impromptu, just read the markings. But either way, let's say we're going to force the Queen of Hearts. So the Queen's on top, and I have them touch one card. It doesn't matter what card. Let's say this one. So you're going to out-jog it, but you don't want them to see this card, because it's going to switch out with this card. So they're going to think that this Queen is actually this card. So when they touch it, you're going to spin it out. Here's the move. I hold out the card, and I say you could have touched any card you wanted. I might use my index finger to flick it. But while this is happening, this is perfect cover. Push off the card, come back, and catch a break. Okay? Now, of course, you can do your pinky count, which might be a little tough because the deck isn't up and down like this. But you can do whatever you would like. So right there, I did the pinky count. So once you're done, without flashing this card, you're going to put it on top of the deck. And you want it to be squared up on all sides. Because if you have this little thing, 2 cards, you don't want that. If you have this, it might be hard to see, but it is split right there a little. You don't want that. You just want to avoid those little things. So take the card, put it on top, and I push my index finger down, and I run it across both sides, and then I take my middle ring and pinky, put this on top, and my thumb on the back, and I just rub across like this. That just squares it up. So now I'm going to come over, and I'm going to come over to where my pinky is. So this break, I'm going to run my finger up, but when I run my finger up, I'm going to make sure I get about halfway. And when I am halfway, the card right here is going to be touching my first knuckle of my index finger. That's going to make it easier to turn over, for me anyway. You can experiment and see what works for you. And notice how my thumb is still on top of this left corner. Look at my other fingers. They're all going to be right there. Eventually, I'm going to take away my pinky finger. But for now, it's right there to keep it still and squared up. So I'm going to lift up my thumb slightly. Okay, move it away so this corner's free. And I'm going to move the card down the deck. Okay, and you want to do this in one fluid motion and not take a long time, because the card might end up splitting. So you're here, you're going to move the card down, and you're going to notice how my pinky moves out of the way, okay? So I move it down, and my pinky just moves. Maybe you want your pinky there. You can experiment and see what works for you. But I'm going to move this down, and right when I'm moving it down, I'm going to be moving it forward, so down and forward like this. So, just like this, and then I turn it over. You just want to, when you're right here, just drop it and let it go. And you don't want these 3 fingers holding on. That's going to make it hard to turn over. It's going to make it stuck. So you're going to turn it over, and depending how far you left it, you moved it up, there's going to be the card off of the deck. So you can come over easily, use your index finger, push up on this top right corner, release with these 3 fingers, and see that right there? It pops up like that. With enough practice, you'll get both of them to pop up at the same time without splitting. Just like this, I put my pinky in, and then I move the card down with my index finger, once again squaring up. Now you have your break. So now you can show the queen, come back over and do that same motion one more time. And now the card is switched out. So you can put this in the middle, do whatever you want, and show how it's on top. Okay? So I'll run over that double lift one more time, and then I'll run over what I did. So we'll keep the queen on top the entire time. So I have them touch a card, or if you want to, you can try this out. You can dribble the deck. They say stop. I square up the half with my hand here. I use my thumb and I push up this card about halfway. Don't flash it though. In this case, the ace of spades, which is going to be switched out for the queen. I put the rest of the deck on top, I spin this card out, and I explain that you could have touched any card. And right there, I just pushed over slightly and caught a break. So like that, you hold the deck like this. So your thumb's going to go right across the middle here. Your middle ring and pinky on the side, and your index on top. Use your thumb to push down, and then move to the right. And you'll notice how it'll go over all your fingers. You're going to bend your pinky in there, pull back with your thumb, and now you have a break. So just like this. Or you can do a pinky count, which looks like that. So you explain you could have touched any card. You put it on top, making sure not to flash that break. And if you want a better break, you can actually let go right here. So release some pressure right here. And you'll see how it pops up, okay? So how am I going to do this? So it's right here. I release some pressure and it pops up. Might be hard to see. But then you can grab these and then turn it over. Make sure it's a lot better than that. And then you can put the queen in. And now it's already on top. So let me go over that trick for you, and then that'll be the video, just over this really easy way to get into the double lift. So essentially, I had them touch a card, let's say this one. I do the double lift, so you could have touched any card, in this case the Queen of Hearts. If you want them to, they can sign the card. And then I ditched it in the middle, it's not really the card though. And then I did a double lift again. But this time I did the strike double, which I do have a video on. So I showed the king. That's not it. And then all I did was I have them touch any card they want. And this is perfect, because you can show them their card isn't on top. It actually is though. And their card isn't on the bottom. They touch, let's say, this card, and you do the same move. Or I believe what I did was I put it on top, and then I did a strike double. And then that's the trick right there. Now, if you want to clean up this, because you don't end clean here, what you can do is something called the KM move, which I have a whole video on, so I will link that down below. But real quick, for the KM move, you're going to come in like you're going to turn the double over, you run it down, and it's going to come right to your fingers. Going to clamp down with your fingers, move your hand out, and you're going to flick it with your thumb. Okay, so we have the card right here. Going to grab this brake, move it down, clamp it with your fingers, and pull it out, and you can flick it with your thumb. And that is how you can do that double lift. I will link the KM move down below. So that's the video for today. Just a nice way to get into the double lift. Let me know how you like that. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you next week for some new videos. Bye.